Right now, Malaysia is quietly building one of the biggest transformations in Asia. Most people see roads and trains, but the real scale stays hidden. By 2030, these projects will reshape how the country moves and grows. This matters because the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger. Some projects cost a few billion ringgit. Others stretch toward amounts that change the entire economy. One project creates new cities from the sea. Another project cuts long journeys into short trips. Pause for a second, because this affects every Malaysian. These are not normal developments or upgrades. These projects change jobs, trade, and daily life. Each one builds on the last, like a chain reaction. Today, we count down 15 mega projects. We start small, and we grow step by step. By the end, you will clearly see Malaysia's future taking shape. Let's begin with Project 15, the Kedar Aerotropolis. This project carries a cost up to 6.8 billion ringgit. It plans a new international airport in Sidam Kiri. Around the airport, a 9,800-acre hub is planned. The focus is logistics, aerospace, and manufacturing. Kedar, known as Malaysia's Rice Bowl, wants high-tech growth. The airport was first planned for completion between 2024 and 2026. But in 2023, federal funding was cancelled. Now the state seeks private investors to revive it. If revived, this could become the North's first global gateway. But next, a project moves forward without delay, linking two nations. Let's move to Project 14, the Johor-Singapore RTS link. This project costs about 10 billion ringgit in total. Malaysia's side accounts for 5.2 billion ringgit. The line stretches 4 kilometers across the border. With this link, travel drops to 5 minutes. Every day, hundreds of thousands face causeway traffic. With RTS, long waits turn into quick rides. The system carries 10,000 passengers per hour. Construction targets completion by the end of 2026. After delays, both countries finally agreed on terms. This rail tightens economic ties between neighbors. But ahead, Penang builds a new business city from scratch. Let's continue with Project 13, the Penang International Commercial City. This project carries a value of 6.5 billion ringgit. It sits near Bayan Lepas Airport, close to global routes. The plan builds a smart commercial hub for business. Penang wants to compete with Kuala Lumpur and Singapore. To do that, it needs modern offices and services. PICC delivers offices, homes, retail, and medical centers together. Development runs in phases through the late 2020s. Full completion is set by 2030. This project targets digital industries and medical tourism. Space limits make every Penang project a hard choice. But ahead, Borneo prepares a road linking two states. Let's move to Project 12, the Sarawak-Sabah Link Road. This project costs 7.4 billion ringgit for Phase 2. It creates the first direct land route between Sarawak and Sabah. The road stretches 335 kilometers across Borneo. For decades, the two states had no direct road. Travel required flights or long detours through Brunei. Now, one highway finally connects them by land. Phase 1 completes by late 2026. Phase 2 finishes by mid-2029. The route serves over 70,000 residents inland. This road opens access to farms, tourism, and services. But next, Malaysia turns to the sea to create new land. Let's move to Project 11, the Penang South Islands. This project costs 8.5 billion ringgit in total. It creates 2,300 acres of new land. Penang Island is running out of space to grow, so the plan expands into the ocean. Phase 1 delivers 1,260 acres. That phase completes by June 30, 2030. The land supports high-tech industries and housing. It also funds Penang's transport projects. Gamuda leads the work on Silicon Island. But tension rises because nature and growth collide. Ahead, Penang builds its first urban rail line. Let's continue with Project 10, the Penang LRT Mutiara line. This project costs 10 billion ringgit in total. It becomes Penang's first urban rail system. The line runs 28 kilometers with 22 stations. For years, Penang relied only on roads and buses. Traffic jams filled narrow streets every single day. Now, rail finally enters the island's transport system. Construction started in late 2024. Full operations are planned by 2030. The route links Silicon Island, Komtar, and Butterworth. Funding connects directly to reclaimed land sales. But ahead, a massive highway reshapes Borneo's backbone. Let's move to Project 9, the Pan-Borneo Highway. This project costs 18.8 billion ringgit in Sarawak alone. By 2025, Sarawak reached 99.97% completion. Final completion is set for November 2025. Before this, travel meant narrow and risky coastal roads. Villages stayed isolated and journeys took far too long. Now, a modern highway forms Borneo's main spine. In Sabah, work continues with new federal funding. Budget 2026 added 1.67 billion ringgit. Together, both states gain true overland connection. But tension remains as roads cut through rainforest land. Ahead, the scale jumps to national economic strategy. Let's move to Project 8, the National Semiconductor Strategy. This plan starts with 25 billion ringgit in government support. Its goal targets 500 billion ringgit in total investment. Malaysia already handles 13% of global chip testing. Now, the country wants design and research power. In 2024, the strategy officially launched nationwide. By early 2025, projects worth over 63 billion ringgit arrived. Big companies like Infineon committed advanced factories. The plan trains 60,000 engineers for the future. This race puts Malaysia against global chip giants. Success needs power, water, and strong infrastructure. Ahead, one railway links poor regions to rich ports. Let's move to Project 7, the East Coast Rail Link. This railway costs 74.96 billion ringgit. It stretches across over 660 kilometers. The line connects Kota Baru to Port Klang. For decades, the East Coast stayed economically isolated. Beautiful states lagged behind the West Coast economy. Now, rail links poor regions to the Klang Valley. With 59 tunnels, trains cross mountains and forests. Travel time drops from 8 hours to 4. Freight shifts from roads to modern rail. Completion arrives in January 2027. This railway rewrites regional inequality. Ahead, a massive metro reshapes Greater Kuala Lumpur. Let's move to Project 6, the Klang Valley MRT. This system costs 118.6 billion ringgit. It includes 3 MRT lines serving Greater Kuala Lumpur. For years, the city suffered from traffic overload. Roads filled and public transport stayed limited. Now, the MRT builds a true metro backbone. The MRT 3 Circle Line spans 51 kilometers. That line links Kajang and Putrajaya routes. All 3 lines complete by 2030. Millions of commuters gain daily rail access. Short-term pain leads to long-term relief. Ahead, a former airbase becomes a global transit hub. Let's move to Project 5, Bandar Malaysia. This master plan carries a value of 140 to 150 billion ringgit. It transforms the old Sungai Besi Air Force Base. The site spans 486 acres in Kuala Lumpur. For years, this land sat mostly unused. Now, it becomes a green global gateway. The plan mixes homes, offices, culture, and parks. It also acts as a major transit hub. MRT, commuter, ERL, and highways all meet here. Early phases roll out through the 2030s. Full build-out stretches across 50 years. Delays slowed it, but the vision remains massive. Ahead, a project builds entire cities on the sea. Let's move to Project 4, Forest City. This project carries a value above 460 billion ringgit. It builds 4 artificial islands off Johor's coast. The original plan aimed to house 700,000 residents. Early on, towers stood mostly empty. That changed when Malaysia approved tax-free zone status. In 2024, Forest City became a special financial zone. Now it targets finance and high-tech industries. The project joins the Johor-Singapore economic strategy. Completion is planned by 2035. This shift turns a troubled project into national opportunity. Ahead, Malaysia enters projects shaping the entire economy. Let's move to Project 3, the 13th Malaysia Plan. This plan allocates 611 billion ringgit nationwide. It runs from 2026 to 2030. Federal funds, GLCS, and private partners all contribute. This roadmap guides infrastructure, education, and technology. A key focus upgrades the power grid for data centers. Another focus expands digital access beyond big cities. This plan coordinates Malaysia's future as one system. Ahead, cross-border integration reshapes 2 economies together. Let's move to Project 2, the Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone. This zone targets 636 billion ringgit by 2030. It was formalized in January 2024. The area covers 3,571 square kilometers. 9 zones align industry and services across borders. Singapore firms committed billions in investment early. This plan links Johor and Singapore as one economy. Workers commute, while companies operate on both sides. The opportunity brings jobs, growth, and regional power. But concerns rise about dependence and balance. Above this, one project reshapes Malaysia's energy future forever. Let's reach Project 1, the National Energy Transition Roadmap. This plan totals up to 1.3 trillion ringgit. It reshapes how Malaysia creates and uses energy. The goal pushes renewables to 40% by 2035. Solar parks, hydrogen hubs, and grid upgrades lead the shift. This roadmap creates jobs and attracts global investment. From start to end, this is Malaysia's biggest transformation ever. From billions, the scale now reaches trillions. These projects are not separate. They form one system. Rail, energy, and technology move together. Malaysia is betting on infrastructure and transition. The real question is choosing the future. From Project 15, Kedar's airport began the journey. To Project 1, the energy roadmap changed everything. The scale jumped from billions to trillions in one countdown. These projects form Malaysia's blueprint for transformation. You just saw 15 builds, reshaping economy and movement. Railways connect, cities rise, and energy shifts. Over 3 trillion ringgit now shapes the future. If this surprised you, hit like and subscribe. Now tell me, which project impressed you the most?